To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart perspective.
Well, hello. And this evening show is going to be quite unique, and here's the reason why. It's unique because I think it's absolutely hilarious. It's unique because it shows the buffoonery at the highest level, and then it also shows some of the biggest hypocrisy I think we have ever seen. Well, the hypocrisy starts because, well, we have open borders. It's absolutely open season on the United States. And right now, no one seems to care. However, as soon as the tables turned and as soon as things got a little different, then I think we are now seeing a different mindset. Or at least, here's the funny thing, they cannot use the same exact language that they were using once upon a time. No, they can't. They can't use that language because, well, then it would be the pot calling the kettle black, but they don't care. They use it anyway. Everywhere from Beetlejuice all the way to up there in Martha's Vineyard. They're all up in arms. Everybody's upset. Nobody's happy. And I think that they're using terms like political, they're using these people as a political pawn. They're making these people the bad guy, and they don't deserve this, and we want to help everybody, but we just don't have no space. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to hear it all. Lord of mercy. You're going to hear it all. I tell you what, once we start to look at this, you guys saw the thumbnail, anywhere but here. Don't bring them here. They can go anywhere. Well, there's a bevy of places that they can go, really. Hmm. Like where? I'll hold. Tell me, where can they go? We're holding. We're holding, and we're still holding our breath to see where else they can go. Because over the past several years, the southern border has been inundated with this unbelievable traffic. And no one said anything. I mean, of course, Chicago, they have their problems there in Illinois. Boy, don't they? As a matter of fact, I think that was well, I'm not even going to talk about that yet, but I just tell you one thing. Illinois has their share of problems, including their mayor in the city of Chicago. And there's other places as well that don't want anything to do with quote unquote those people. This is so funny to me to see where we're going. I want to take a quick look at what is going on within our southern border. Actually, not even the southern border. I want to take a look at the enforcement statistics because I like to look at numbers, right? I like to look at the numbers, I like to get the numbers, and I like to play with those because those tell us exactly where we are right now today. The numbers are not going to lie. Well, they may be fudged a little here or there, but I tell you what, they're not going to be that far off. So we're going to look at the CBP enforcement statistics for the past couple of years, all the way up until now. Would you look at that? Hmm. You know how I do it. I make sure that I give you guys the screen so that you can follow along. The links to this will be in the production notes as soon as it is published. And yeah, let's just go on ahead and take a glance at it. And then we're going to take a look at all the whining. Let me come back on the screen and tell you this. Then we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at all the whining, all the whining, all the crying, all the crying. Meanwhile, we dealing with it. People who are, oh goodness gracious, they're, listen, people all across the United States are feeling the pinch. People all across the United States. So where it may have started there in, for example, Texas and Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, Georgia's feeling the pinch. Yeah, a lot of other places are feeling the pinch. Even in the Midwest, they're feeling the pinch. Everybody's feeling the pinch. So I feel it's fitting that they take it. Well, let's get down to the brass tacks. Let's just get down to looking at the numbers. All right, let's get to the numbers. We're going to look at the numbers of the CBP enforcement statistics for the fiscal year 2022. However, before we get into that, there are more statistics that give us a little bit more information. And look, they go from 2017 all the way to fiscal year 2022. That is not over yet. Now it doesn't end until the end of this month. Look at the date. Ironic that it coincides with the date for the Vatican having all money put into the bank, September 30th. So the numbers are growing for fiscal year 2022. This first graph or first chart that we're looking at here, let's see, can I get you to come over? There you go. All right, so the numbers below reflect the fiscal year 2017 through 2022. Let's start up here so you know where we're going. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection is the nation's largest federal law enforcement agency, charged with securing the nation's borders and facilitating international travel and trade. Our top priority, they say, is to keep terrorists and their weapons from entering into the United States. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a quite noble thing. So, to stop them from entering into the United States is what they say. At the nation's more than 300 ports of entry, the CBP officers have a complex mission with broad law enforcement authorities tied to screening all foreign visitors, returning American citizens, and imported cargo that enters the United States along the nation's borders. The United States Border Patrol and Air and Marine Operations are the uniform law enforcement arms of the CBP, responsible for securing U.S. borders between ports of entry. Now, it also lets you know that you can visit this page here, and it'll give you some more information. Again, it will be down below in the production notes once we're done. Now, for fiscal year 2022, well, as we said earlier, that's going to continue to run. It started on October 1st, 2021, and it will go on through September 30th. Here we go. The Office of Field Operations, or OFO, the total encounters. The middle bar is the U.S. Border Patrol total encounters. And then you also got the total enforcement actions. Let's focus on the first one. As you can see, from 2017 all the way to 2019, we were on an upward trajectory. Things were going up. And then, of course, in 2020, they sort of mellowed out, obviously, because of the pandemic. But in 2017, the Office of Field Operations total encounters was 216,370. And if we look at 2019, it had grown by 200, not by 200, but to 288,523. There's the lull in 2020, 241,786. Well, let's look and just jump right past 2021, just for the sake of time and argument. Fiscal year 2022 hasn't even ended. And right now it sits, as of the date of this publication, at 420,253 total encounters. So now that we put a little bit of a perspective on exactly what it is that we're talking about as it relates to numbers, let's go on ahead and take a look at a couple of the stories that are in the news today, as well as they're going to keep going. They're going to keep going because, see, they've got to scramble everything up before we get to the November elections. They're going to scramble it up. They're going to scramble it up, and I think they're scrambling it up on purpose. Why? Well, because I have not learned to trust the things that they've got going on. I just don't trust it. What I think is they could be trying to make it nice and scrambled so that if something happens again like it did in the last election, they'll say, well, see, people were just not happy with what was going on, and they just went to the polls and they showed that they didn't appreciate it, that they just wanted things to change. That's what they could do. Or conversely, they could say, well, They wanted to get rid of those folks. Now let's put the Republicans back in here in full force and let's let them take care of it. But don't forget, folks, for those of you who are still on the right or the left or Republican or Democrat, they've had the opportunity to do that once before, and they had complete and total control and did complete and total nothing. But that's okay. That's all right. Let me just go on ahead and get to this story for you guys. Let me pull up the peepers here. Yeah, let's go. Martha's Vineyard homeless shelter representative. She had a lot to say. Let me come over here and give you guys that. I'm sure you've seen it, but we just haven't seen it together. How about that? We haven't seen it together, and it's important to share. Yeah, we got to share with each other. All right, so here we go. Let's look at Texas first. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be so mean. So let's just cut to the chase. Okay. All right. This, of course, is Gateway Pundit. That's what we're looking at. The Gateway Pundit. It says that was quick. Buses arrive at Martha's Vineyard and deport illegals off the island. They weren't having that. They weren't having it. They said, we're not having this. You're not going to send these people down here to us. We're not having any of this. So let's go on ahead. It says that was quick. Buses arrive at Martha's Vineyard and deport the illegal aliens off the island. Why? What was the problem? They say, we respect women, we value Black lives, and we stand with our LGBTQ community members, and we stand with immigrants and with refugees, with indigenous peoples, and with people of all faiths. Lord of mercy, we stand with our community. Jesus. But don't you bring them folks around here. You better come over here, get these folks out my backyard. My goodness, I think Bill's on over there relieving himself on my hydrangeas. Oh, Lord. Please come and get them, they say, while clutching their invisible pearls. Please come and get them. They can't come around here. We for everybody. But if they got to be over there. We're for everyone. We want to support everyone, from Black Lives Matter to the indigenous peoples, to everybody, all the refugees. We just want the right to support them from over here while they are over there. This island don't want none of that jumping off. We don't want none of that over here. On Wednesday, Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent 2 planes carrying illegal immigrants to the island of Martha's Vineyard, an exclusive elite liberal community that prides itself on its tolerance and statutory and sanctuary status. I thought y'all was a sanctuary status. I thought you had sanctuary. Oh, but it's not that kind of sanctuary. It's not that kind, right? Not the kind with the hump on the back. Different type of sanctuary. Okay. Well, anyway. So rather than fly the illegals in the dead of night, hidden from public view like Joe Biden did, Governor DeSantis just flew the immigrants to the leftist enclave in broad daylight, right here. Get on off this nice plane. We're going to take you guys and give you a great, great, great ride. The Democrats were furious that Governor DeSantis would pull off such a stunt. How dare he expose the liberal left or their disgusting hypocrisy? And that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. How dare you guys do that to these wonderful citizens? I'm sure they all had to be a little upset. I know that I would have been a little upset. Wouldn't you have been a little upset? Yeah, right. We all been living with it. And now they get a taste of it and they can't take it. Listen, they did not even wait until it became nighttime. No, sir, no, ma'am. No, sir, no, ma'am. They made sure that they did that right in the broad daylight. No, they want you to know, no, we that gangster, we did it. We did it. We did it. It was us. It was my face. Oh, goodness gracious. Joe Biden immediately opened the borders after moving into the White House, and over 2 million illegals have walked into the United States this fiscal year alone. Democrats expect the rest of the country to deal with the invasion that they caused. On Friday, less than 36 hours later, the sanctuary island of Martha's Vineyard deported the illegal aliens in buses. The racist elites kicked them off the island. The son of a guns. According to officials, the illegal immigrants will be transported to a joint base, Cape Cod. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What do you think about it? Just get out. We don't want nothing to do with none of y'all. You got to go. We don't care where you go, and you ain't got to go home, but you sure enough got to get up out of here. Sure enough, you got to get on up out of here. I think that's amazing. But you know what? It sounds just like them. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not shocked. Are you shocked? Are you surprised? I'm not at all. So let's go ahead and get a couple of other stories here because I just feel like it's important for us to just keep it pushing. So, sister and brother, keep it pushing. But we did see the numbers. Let's see. I pulled up a whole lot of these little doodads. And I want to play I think I want to do this one, the Chicago. Oh goodness, I hope it's the one with her. I ain't gonna take none of this stuff, man. I ain't gonna take none of this stuff.
Well, this was the scene last night at the city's Union Station. Officials say 75 migrants were dropped off there. This is the latest chapter of the political battle over the Biden administration's immigration policy. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has been sending migrants to so-called sanctuary cities since April. In a statement the governor released last night, he wrote in part, quote, President Biden's inaction at our southern border continues putting the lives of Texans and Americans at risk and is overwhelming our communities. To continue providing much needed relief to our small, overrun border towns, Chicago will join fellow sanctuary cities Washington, New York as an additional drop-off location. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said the city welcomes the migrants. She also slammed the Texas governor's actions in a news conference today.
Governor Abbott's racist and xenophobic practices of expulsion have only amplified the challenges many of these migrants have experienced on their journey to find a safe place. The governor's actions are not just inhumane, they are unpatriotic. This cannot be who we are as Americans.
For some migrants, this is a chance to start a new life. CNBC's Perry Russum spoke to a father who walked for 2 months from Venezuela to the U.S. border.
In the crowd of migrants bused to Chicago, 3-year-old Catalia is the youngest. Her fascination with the watch covers the exhaustion of her 2-month journey from Venezuela. Her father, Elliot, lists the countries they walked through to reach the American border. From Venezuela, they went to Colombia, then Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, and Mexico. A continent-crossing journey wearing down the feet of his pregnant wife. Catalia wants to show us the bottom of her feet, too.
Do you notice how they want you to see the bottom of the baby's feet? We want you to look and to see the bottom of the baby's feet because we want you to feel exactly how they felt, even though you cannot feel the actual pricking of the rocks on the bottom of your feet. That's a little Italian mix there, so nobody feels, abused. We want you to see it. We want you to feel it. We want you to know what's going on with the feet. So, here you go. Look at the bottom of the baby's feet. Don't you feel something for the baby? And they want to work on your emotions. Because if they can work on your emotions enough, then you're going to feel like, damn it, man, let them in. How dare you? Anyway, this is for a commentary. And so we have to stop in every now and then and do some commentating. Let's get to the rest of it.
We ask Elliot, why America? It is simply a country that offers many life opportunities, he says. Elliot tells us in Venezuela there is no food, no work, and the country is in political crisis. The UN Refugee Agency reports there are more than 6 million Venezuelan refugees and migrants globally, making it the second largest external displacement crisis in the world. Around Elliot's wrist, a barcode bracelet from the border with his age, sex, and home country. A spokesperson for Texas Governor Greg Abbott compares the bracelets to a plane ticket. Ellier carries a clear bag holding his family's documents, donated diapers, and a t-shirt. There are MREs, meals ready to eat, and medication for his wife. A Chicago police officer tells us there was no heads up the migrants were being sent here. Baltazar Enriquez shows up to help in his pajamas.
We're ready. We've been ready for this.
Enriquez is with Little Village Community Council in Chicago. The group started in the 60s, primarily helping Czechoslovakian immigrants, now helping migrants from Latin American and South American countries.
It's a culture shock, to see these big buildings, all this traffic. A lot of them come from rural areas that they've never even seen a big building like this.
There is hope in their tired eyes. Chicago! They have a meal and another bus ride to a shelter, a temporary home in a country where they want to stay forever. And with Governor Abbott sending migrants to D.C., New York City, and now Chicago, he has moved thousands of people since April. He says his border towns are just simply overwhelmed.
A crucial issue which has surfaced ahead of the midterm elections in the United States is that of migrants.
Okay, so there's that. There is that. But I want to let you know something. That I have a problem with our country doling out as much money as we are doling out to Ukraine, for example. I even have an even bigger problem with the fact that it's costing us loads of money every day to house the individuals who are coming over here illegally. And I also have a problem with the fact that Flint's water has not been fixed and Jackson, Mississippi's water is just the very crest of what the rest of the United States, especially in some urban neighborhoods, have to look forward to. Now, I do believe that some of the things that go on in rural neighborhoods need to be brought to the forefront because they're not being brought to the forefront. There's a lot of things where people poor, doesn't matter whether they're in the urban cities or whether they are in the rural areas. Poverty is poverty, right? But there's a lot of things that people are not speaking up on because some of them don't even know where to go. And that's sad. But the truth about the matter is that America is allowing our people to sit here hungry. Homeless are peppering the streets of the state of California, for example. Atlanta is not too far behind them. Georgia is becoming quickly a little California. It really is. And then you've got all the other areas that are in between that have immigrant issues, that have housing issues, and the housing issue is not about to end. So, Felicia, why are you making all these complaints and why are you making light of it? Because we need to understand that what we're looking at and what we are seeing here in the United States has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with who's black, who's white, who's purple, who's green, because we are under attack. Your passport tells you that. If you have one, or if you are eligible for one, or if you're in this country, your passport ought to tell you that you're under attack based on what you see. You see, they could not do anything overt. They couldn't come from the air. They couldn't come from the sea, although they may. They couldn't do any of that. But they could definitely cause enough dismay and enough disarray and enough confusion and enough division, okay? They could do all of that to make sure that when they start burning down stuff like, I don't know, food plants, when they start, closing down big jobs like Ford, when they start telling everybody, well, now it's time for you to go out and consider a wonderful electric car. What's the problem? Aren't you tired of these exceptionally high gas prices? That once they started to do that, you would say, Uncle. That's what you would cry. Uncle, stop it, I say. Stop it. I give. Well, because some folks can't even give at the office anymore. Well, they don't have a job. So the deal that I want you to understand is that as you see them taking people all the way up to Martha's Vineyard, as you see them dropping people off and peppering them among the cities in Illinois, specifically Chicago, and as they're taking them up into New York and they're dropping them off, that a lot of this is for fanfare, to make you think that they're standing up for you, that there's somebody who's standing up for you, when the truth about the matter is every single one of them are all a part of the same game. They're probably somewhere right now high-fiving each other. Ha, did you like that? Did you like that, Beetlejuice? Well, I didn't really like it. I mean, I really don't like to sit up here and have to talk to anybody about anything, but it was a sort of a good one, she says in response. I could just see them all now. having a good time, total good time at our expense. Because you know what? When they have the get down at the get downs and somebody is putting on some old 1976 Al Green music and they're just trying to have a good old party, those folks are partying together. And it's you and it's me who are down here nibbling at one another's ankles and destroying each other, tearing each other apart simply because they've told us that because you're white, you the problem. Simply because they said that because I'm black, I got to be the problem. You know, we did a story yesterday, and when we talked about that story, I said at the very beginning of that story that I don't see it as anything other than a terrible law. But as the program went on, I made another comment, and that is that I think maybe this is being allowed so that it wouldn't enrage us. And here's the reason why I said that, because generally, whenever you have a victim, you never, ever, ever disclose that individual's name, especially when they're underage. And yet, with this story, we were conveniently given the age, the ethnicity. We were given the name. We were given everything that it would give us, enough information for us to be angry. So on this Friday night, here's what I want to tell you. Please don't believe the hype. We can definitely look at these conversations and see how we should change our communities. That's what we should do. I mean, even with the Jackson water situation, that's what we need to do. We need to look at that issue and we need to say, okay, wait a minute now. There are several meetings that I can go to. And when I go to these meetings, I need to make sure that I stand up and I say what I want and what I don't want. And I need to get a few of my friends to go down there with me if we all are of like mind. That's what this stuff is telling you. All the people coming in the border and they take a handful and they move them. All the people coming through the border and another one. So all it does is it makes for good television. It just makes for really good entertainment. That's what it does. But in tandem with that, it makes us divided. Because here's part of a divide for people who don't understand how. As example, for the black guy who may need a job, he may see the poor, useful idiot coming across the border as a person who could take away his job. And you and I both know it could happen. It could happen. But the deal is, it's not him that you should be upset about. You need to make sure that when you are voting, that you are voting on a local level where you can make a change, where you can have something to say and hold those that you send wherever they're going, when they go where they go, where you're going to send them, that you need to be able to hold their feet to the fire and keep them accountable. Because when I look at these stories, I can only tell you that it's going to get worse, and it's going to become even more clown college. It's going to look like a clown college here in a minute. This makes too much sense, right? I shouldn't be talking about this, right? I should be adding to the divisiveness, shouldn't I? Yeah. Sounds like I'm not picking a lane, doesn't it? It just sounds like I'm going nowhere with this. I'm going somewhere. I'm telling you to lend your mind to a better level, because this stuff right here is clown foolery. And I wish I could say another word. Tell you what, if I have me a little bit of a drink right about now, your soul sister sure enough would be telling you another word. So from DeSantis all the way, from Florida all the way to Abbot, all the way to homeboy in California who has lost his total mind. If you could, this cat has lost his mind. And wait a minute. What I do want to say is how amazing it is that they would actually do a recall for somebody who deserves it, and then he gets to stay and no one asks a question. Do you see how anesthetized they are in California? They're just anesthetized that people would actually believe that it's all good. That people would actually believe that it's all good and that there's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. Big Bad Bull, one of my newest mods here. Hello, kind sir. So happy to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's the problem. That's the issue. There's the rub. There is the rub. Hey, Shaq, how you doing, brother? Let's see. You want to come up? I can give you a link if you want to come up and have something to say. As a matter of fact, I'll give you guys the link, period. So if you want to come up here and say something, you most assuredly can. You can come on up. I don't have a problem with that at all. As a matter of fact, I think that's a way to sort of nip it Barney Fife style. to just nip it all in the bud so that we are all in one accord, all of us in one accord, because it's really time that we have the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link down inside of the description, actually inside the chat. And I would love for you guys to just pick it up and come on. So here we go. Let me give it to you right now. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you think about this whole entire situation. I really do want to know. Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. You can bring them, but you got to bring them anywhere but here. We don't want them in here. We don't want them anywhere around here. And do you see how fast them jokers got those folks out of there? Do you see how fast them jokers got those cats out of there? Do you see that? That was hilarious. Anybody, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Y'all know you don't even have to show your face. Shaq, I really do want you to grab that link if you're still here, Shaq, as I definitely want to talk to you about it. But the deal is that, yes, this is what's going on right here. Now, there are some more stories that I do want to look at while we wait. I'm so tired of this whole climate passage thing. And this is going to be, let me tell you something. This is going to be an absolute train wreck. This is going to be a train wreck when it comes to the lights out situation, because there are going to be a lot of lights out. There are going to be a lot of lights out. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and read what they're calling DeSantis. I want to read it. I want you to hear what they got to say. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you so you can read it along with me. We're going to read exactly what they're calling DeSantis. What do they think about the dude? What do they think about him? Let's find out together, shall we? Let's find out together. All right. Giving you the full screen so that you guys can read it right along with me. Oh, it's going to be hilarious, Joy. Joy, this is going to be a mess. Oh, this is going to be a mess. This is going to be a mess. Okay. Hey, Shaq, how you doing? This is going to be a mess, right?
Peace. What you got going on? I see the title, Anywhere But Here. What is it you showing up here?
Yeah, Alan Davis, if you're here and you want to come, you can come up too. What's going on? I see that you just come in, but what's going on is, they're moving the migrants or the immigrants, or when I was little, the illegal aliens from Texas into, Chicago, and they're putting them on buses. And then they just got through flying a couple of plane loads of them from Florida, DeSantis did, all the way to Martha's Vineyard to say, well, since you guys want to tell us how to feel about the situation, let us just send you some people. And that's exactly what they did. David Bentley, how are you? And Mars Fools Gold, Marty Lauderdale, and Maureen, how are you? Yeah, that's what they did. Elizabeth Garcia, how are you doing? So that's what they did. They just put them all in a plane, put them all on a bus, took them and sent them somewhere else. Hey, Gerald. Yeah, they did. Yeah, and that's that. Is that not funny? So here's the deal. It was a bevy of them saying, well, we stand with them. We stand with LGBTQ. We stand with Black Lives Matter. We stand. Yes, we do. And they had the whole choir in the background. We stand. All of them. We stand with the Black folks. We stand with the indigenous. We stand. But they just can't come around here.
Right. Hey. Not here.
Not here. And so they said, no, ta-ta now. Pish posh, be gone with you. Cheerio.
So you said they got more pump fakes than Peyton Manning, huh? They pump fake.
But look, Shaq, and the funny part about it was that they not only got him up out of yon, they got him out of yon post haste, because by sundown, them folks was gone. By sundown, they got them people all up out of there. They got them out of there. So I want to go ahead and read this. We're going to read this story right quick. And when we do, I just want you guys to consider, hey, they're calling this guy a problem. Senator calls Ron DeSantis a power-mad tyrant after the Martha's Vineyard stunt. It's a stunt. But what is that when you're looking in California? Is that a stunt? Because didn't he do the same thing, except he was up front with it? right? He was upfront with it. California just opened up the borders and just sit back, twiddling their thumbs. Who's coming in next? I don't know. Are you going to stop them? They told us we can't. We can't? No. What are they paying us for? To sit here. And do what? Nothing. Nothing? That's right. You like it? I have no choice. Why? I got a mortgage. After he cast a late morning vote on the Senate floor Thursday, Tim Kaine was in his signature satisfied smile, the one he regularly seems incapable of controlling on his noticeably unhurried strolls through the hurried to hectic United States Capitol as he descends into the dregs of the Capitol before reaching the trams at the bottom of the landing where a rotating cast of reporters all but reside. He stopped to field our questions. After answering an election question, the former governor of a formerly purple Virginia went out of his way to defend many members of the GOP from charges they're all lawless disciples of Trump. Not everybody who is a Republican is in that camp, but sadly, an awful lot are, close quote. In the question, DeSantis came up as an easy, almost pinata like example of a border trend. Our mention of the Florida governor's name was too much, even for the perpetually nice. Virginia is annoyingly, at least half of the time, for lovers and decent former Democratic vice president nominee. Now, it gives a quote here. This comes from Kaine. You know what? Let me just say this about Ron DeSantis, Kaine told Raw Story as his eyes welled up with tears and his voice quivered with pain. Somebody who would round up Venezuelans who have fled one of the most brutal dictatorships in the world and then use them for a political stunt has no business ever holding a political office. But let's talk about how Venezuela got that way for such a time as this. You see, you'd have to be stupid to remove America from the whole Venezuela story. I mean, where did the embargoes come from? But you got Maduro over there. And weren't we just begging Venezuela for oil? And now we're saying that they're just a terrible place. We created this, as we do a lot of the other places in this world. Our southern neighbors stretching throughout the Americas have maintained a special place in Kaine's being since 1980. That's when he checked out of Harvard Law School for a year to serve as a Jesuit missionary in Honduras. I'm going to leave that right there and let that sink in. A Jesuit missionary in Honduras. His time there has stuck with him, which was evident as the mild-tempered Democrat sardonically marked Florida's governor for his latest naked appeal for clicks and adoration from the far-right wing of the GOP he's perpetually courting. Quote, so let's see. Who do I want to use for a political stunt? He's saying it as he's getting him ready to explain what he did. He goes, why don't I pick on people who have already been abused by a power-mad tyrant? No, let's just go ahead and be real with us. Be real with us, dude. You already know where these folks came from. You already know that some of them got more money in their pocket right now than most of us do. I've seen the shiny brand new backpacks. I'm not about to avoid the obvious. I've seen every single one of the shiny new backpacks that them cats came over here with. I saw the brand new bright sneakers. Hey, Jordan would be proud. I've seen it. Come on in and get your cell phone, baby. Look, the American people, they got you, boo. They got you, boo. Ain't nobody gonna check them either. They got you. Come on over here and get your bright new shiny Obama phone that ain't nobody gonna disconnect because they ain't got the power to. Oh, the MasterCard that you got in your pocket. Yeah, well, we'll just go ahead and give you another $2,500 per person, $800 per person, $900 per person. It don't matter if my numbers are off, baby. If it was $1, it's too much for people who are not supposed to be here. When former Venezuela President Hugo Chavez started implementing his own homeland, a massive migration crisis took root in Venezuela. That steady flow of desperate humans, known to many as the Bolivarian Revolucione, has yet to stop. Upwards of 4 million Venezuelans fled the impoverished nation in 1999 to 2019. Losing roughly 13% of their population makes it the worst migration crisis recorded in the Americas to date. All of it's done by us. We do all of this stuff. You know, we assist everybody. Did you know that, Shaq? We assist everybody in wrecking their environments and wrecking their communities. We do it all. We do it. It's us. We are at the helm of everything that's raggedy in every country. You can't look at one country that we ain't put our foot on, that we ain't touched. Not one. Every raggedy thing that's going on. We'll read the super chats in just a few moments. I see you all for putting them. Thank you. America is the reason why we have a lot of these things that are wrong. And some people may disagree. Some people may not believe it. And I get it. I get it. But the truth about the matter is it's us. Whenever you want to see what's happening, go ahead.
Is it America or is it the United States?
Okay, now look here. You know, a lot of people ain't ready for that, and we can't go there. We cannot go there. We cannot go there because you and I already know we cannot go there. We're not going to open up that can of worms because I'm telling you, there's some folks that's in our chat that could come in here and they could get down with it, baby. You hear me? They could get down with it. But to be candid with you, every time you look around, it ain't me, it ain't you, it's them. And they're doing it with the assistance of others. And that's just the way that it is. Anytime we go and beg Iran and we use Russia as the go-between between us, as the mediator between us and Iran a few months ago, talking about grease, talking about hair grease, talking about oil. Talking about oil. That's what we did. Mentally challenged. So now that you can look at that, we're going to go ahead and finish reading parts of this. I think we did that. Okay. You think about who Venezuelans are, he says. I mean, this is the second largest humanitarian crisis in the world, and the United States is the largest donor of humanitarian aid to the Venezuelan people. Both inside the country and out came bemoan, questioning whether DeSantis has any foreign policy chops. In Massachusetts, local leaders are also appalled that DeSantis turned people into the nakedly partisan pawns. Y'all been doing this for ages. Isn't this amazing? So do you see why I say there are two sides to this coin? That Janus is real and alive. What do you think, Shaq? What do you really think? I really want to know. What do you think about the hypocrisy? I'm going to give you the mic and the screen. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Well, but see, a lot of us is not ready for these conversations. You know what I mean? That's why I said only on what? The Lockhart perspective. You gotta tune in. Slow down. But I would ask them and pose this question.
Yes, go right ahead.
Let me ask you this. And people in the chat, maybe they can answer. Okay. If there was a neighboring nation that wanted to offer asylum, right, to colored, us African Americans, what country would that be? This is just a hypothetical.
I want to know where you're going, because my opening monologue has dispelled all color lines, because I really feel like it is. I don't know that there is anybody that would ever, here's the thing, to be honest with you, I believe that as a nation, as a whole, that we as a whole are in trouble because we are here and they are doing what they're doing. It affects us who are from here. And that's the reason why I cannot buy the color piece. Why? Because I got people right down the street that are dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. I got people and they don't look like me. You know what I mean? I got people down the road the other direction. They don't look like me and they're still, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's really what my goal is, to sort of just take a wrecking ball to the whole color piece. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I deliberately use the color because it's a shock job.
Well, it is a shock. Yes, it is. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you cook. It's just that for me, you know what? Listen, for me, I just have this desire to just break the color barrier, because I believe that divide prevents us from really seeing the man behind the curtain. That's why I don't try to go there. Now, there are some circumstances and some situations where, you can see that there's some stuff that's going on. But I think that's just I think that there's a handful of dodo birds and idiots who actually walk in that place. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be a pretty mentally insane person to walk around in that place all the time. And I'll be honest with you. I'll be very honest with you. I don't believe that there are as many that are going out, setting out to harm people with different shades. I don't think that. I think that there are people who are mean and nasty and bitter, and they don't care about people of color, people white, people black, people orange. They don't care about people, period. They're just a bunch of miserable individuals that just hate life. And I think those group of individuals are the ones that are to be separated by themselves on a little island somewhere, because they don't like nobody. So go ahead. I'm gonna give you the moment to go ahead on and do your color piece. Go ahead, I got you. But when my chat start throwing apples at you, you better be prepared.
What? Okay, so hold on. What? Okay, so what do you identify as in this country? What do you identify as? Because I don't think a lot of people have these conversations.
I'm Niji. I am
okay.
Niji.
So you.
I'm indigenous.
Okay, so I got this campaign. Well, me and my partner just started up. We are running. We're gonna start to run this thing, American Indigenous Niji. I'm gonna run that and see who run behind it.
Okay.
But I'm running the American Indigenous Niji. That's what they call us nigger. They call us color. We can quantify who we are. But I'm settling on American Indigenous Niji. I really like that one.
Well, that's who I am. I'm Niji. Here on Turtle Island, I am Niji, and I know that, and my family knows it. We know that. We know. A lot of people look at you crazy, but you're like, okay, so like Cherokee, like Creek, like Choctaw. That's who I am. But I really don't think that it matters when you consider the fact that those that are outside the United States, who have infiltrated within this country, who want to take it over from the inside out, they don't care about any collateral damage, and they don't care about the color of that collateral damage. They just want everybody off the map so that they can then exact their ideology and do what they want to do. That's what I think. I think that's what it is. I think they just want this land. That's what I do.
Right.
I think, yeah. And I don't think they care who gets in between it. See, here's the deal. Right now, what's going on in this country, in this space, is them removing everybody out of the way so that they could then come in and do what they want to do. They don't really look at the fact that, that's a white lady, or that's a white man, or that's a black lady or a black man. They are causing division so that we all never get together and compare notes. I think that's what it is. They don't want any of us to compare notes. They don't want us to do that. Okay. Yeah, I think they do not want us to compare notes, because they feel like if we compare notes, we're going to look at who the problem is, because it's not you, it's not me, it's not the people in the chat. I just believe that that's what they want. They don't want us to love each other. They don't want us to care about each other. What is that Steppenwolf has, you guys? Mods, what is that? Ask a question. Let me know what is that in the chat there. You know what I'm saying? They do not want us to understand one another. They want us to stay with the blinders on our eyes. Listen, when we consider the evil that's been done in this country, it is the same people who have been doing it for ages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The evil that is being done has not changed hands. It's the same evil, the same evildoers. That's what's amazing.
Us
Go
haven't
ahead.
came to that. We interrupt, but some of us grasp that concept that evil doesn't face, right? It can do transform, right? Manipulate. So a lot of us haven't even came to that, but shows like this and other show information like this will open more people up. But I think considering our situation circumstance, I think we are going in the right direction. I think all this stuff got to be bled out of our blood, like the anger, the hate, everything that we went through. You know what I'm saying? The slavery, the this, the that, the rich. Oh, let me get this $1 million. Let me go get this bag. All that got to be getting out of. We got to go through that.
But the only thing that can burn that out is love. I know that seems like a very benign emotion to use in this context, but the only thing that can burn fear away is love. The only thing that can burn hate away is love. Love is so powerful. It's just a smile. It's just a kind word. It's just a decent gesture. It's just being concerned for somebody else. You know, love is powerful, more powerful than anybody could ever know. But see, if we get together and I say, you know what? Netta T, I like you. I love you. You're really cool people. I'm getting to understand Netta T. I'm getting to understand Annette Thompson. Wow. Jack Torrance, you cool people. I really like you. True Helper, I like you. Melinda, wow, you know what? We begin to understand each other and accept each other for who they are, for who we are, for where we are. You see, that's what makes the point of difference. I'm telling you, I'm on to something here. I'm on to something. It does not say that these things did not happen, but here's what I submit. I submit that we look at the individual who did the deed then, because it's the same one behind that curtain moving until Toto comes. Until Toto comes and pulls it back and show me that there's somebody else behind that curtain, baby, to your friend, it's going to be them. Let's see. True Helper says, thank you so much for that wonderful super chat. And for those of you who are giving tonight, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it, because you guys help me stay here. You really do, because you help keep the internet going. You help keep all of the apps that I have to use to do all of the videos and all that other stuff. You are the ones the people who give here. The money that you give turns right back around and goes right back into me being able to be here and being able to make quality information for you guys. And so I want to thank you. True Helper says, just because we love you. Thank you for everything you do. True Helper, I want to thank you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is kind. You guys, that's a good thing. When we really consider the fact that the truth is that it's the same people who've been doing it for ages. It ain't nobody different. It's the same cat. It's the same cat. What do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Especially when I'm with the information I'm, researching and stuff. Yeah, it started to be the same thing, following the same script. It's the same script being played out. And I've been talking about this a couple of times. I wonder about what's going on now. If you look in the early 1900s, it's the same thing, which would be 100 years ago. It's the same thing happening right now.
Can I tell you something else?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the situation that happened with Reginald Denny?
Reginald Denny, yeah, that name don't ring a bell
California.
Off the top.
In California. Do you remember the little Hyundai driving down the streets, getting away? You remember that? The Hyundai driving down the streets with the man that was in
The
it.
Hyundai.
You remember that? You remember the Hyundai? The Hyundai getting it. In speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour, Rodney King led the police on a high-speed chase through the streets of All I'm going to tell you, baby, I ain't said nothing to nobody, but I'm going to tell you what I think. Now that I know who the players are, that's my eucalyptus. Now that I know who the players are, yeah, that part. Think about it. How did they all come up with signs at the same time? Think about it. How did somebody living across the street from the highway back in that day just so happen to be here from out of town with a camcorder? And they just so happen to hear, they just so happen to hear rumbling going on. And they just so happen to come out, and then they just so happen to disappear after this footage just so happened to end up in the hands of the authorities or those who cared.
Ooh. I think people need to go back and look at that.
Oh, and if they do, they'll find some very interesting information because it is the same cats. They use the same playbooks. They know nothing different. They don't know anything different. Think about it. Go back and look at it. You don't have to believe me because it's just allegedly, and it's just my perspective. That's it. That's it. We're coming up on 1 hour, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being here, hanging out. I love you guys. Y'all are the best, and I don't like to go over 1 hour because the people that are over on the other side in BitChute land, they just can't take it. They can't take it. They don't like it. They don't want me to go for longer than 10 minutes. There's a lot of people that don't want us to go longer than 3. But I'm here to let you understand something. I'm here to let you understand something that, baby, we got to open our eyes because time is short. And I'd hate for the time to run out the clock and y'all still thinking that it's a bunch of stuff. And it ain't. I don't dislike you unless you do something to me. You shouldn't dislike me unless I do something to you. And even then, I need to pray for you and hope for the best and vice versa. And we just don't cross each other's path no more. We see each other, we respect each other, and we keep it going because that's what people with some good common sense do. It doesn't mean that those things did not happen. What I'm telling you is, taste the soup. Taste the soup. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Vine Dressers Branch. I appreciate you, love. I appreciate you. Taste the soup, Vine Dressers Branch. It's going to be the same person all the time. It's going to be the same cat all the time.
Well, you got an awesome chat, bro. Well, some awesome supporters.
My chat is the best on the planet. My chat is the best on the planet. Combined, the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I have the best mods and the best chat in the world. And let me tell you something. My chat is so brilliant that they send information to my email quite often. I'll look at it and just be shaking my head. Some of the stuff that they send me, I'll be like, Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Oh, I'm like, oh, wow. Some of the stuff that they said, I'm like, are you kidding me? Can you believe they did that? And I'm like, wow. Sometimes they'll just send me some really good stuff. And I'm like, wow. I can't even believe it. It's like I can't even broach the topic. Some of it is so amazing. But then again, it's because we're dealing in desperate times and they're looking at desperate things to do. They're desperately looking for how to do what the next thing is. And like I always say, if you got cats that was alive, say, when the guy with the little mustache was around, if you got people who were alive then and they're still alive now and they are now in power and they have influence and they've got money, don't you think that those jokers got something to do with what's going on right now? They the same cats. They don't change. So what I say is, I suggest that you possibly figure out that, yeah, they ain't what you think they are.
Let me ask you this: with this immigration, where do you see us in 5 years? I'm not even gonna go out 10 years. I'm gonna say 5 years. Where do you see the position in place? The needs, yes.
Because the majority of us do not know true U.S. history or true America history or U.S. history, because we don't understand the preamble, the real way the preamble was written, because we don't understand that there were 2 constitutions, because we don't understand a lot of that stuff. I think a lot of us are going to perish. There'll be a lot of us that are going to perish because they don't understand who we are. And because when you don't know who you are and you don't know the significance of what's going on, that's when you perish. You have no knowledge of stuff. Well, Yah even says, you know what? Hey, my people perish for the lack of knowledge, for a lack of knowledge. If you don't know the truth, and see, here's the sad piece. The sad piece is that a lot of people are waking up to understand who they are. And it's no big deal. I mean, if you look at me, I don't look like certain people. If I look at you, you don't look like certain people. Okay. And if I look at some of the people in my chat, like Marty Lauderdale, there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are in my chat that are native, that have, Cherokee or Creek or, Choctaw or something like that. That's in their veins. Really do. They really, really do. Okay. Okay. And they know who they are. But the deal is that if you try to share with somebody else, something else that people want to stay ignorant to truth. Not the folks here, but there's a lot of people who decide that they just want to stay ignorant to truth. They don't want to accept it. They don't want to believe it. And because they don't want to believe it, they're slowing everybody down. Everything is getting slowed down. Everything is getting slowed down. Now, on the other side of that, which is a very important piece, because Ronnie makes a very good point. He says it doesn't even matter about the ethnicity. It doesn't matter about, me being native. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff. The only thing, and I agree with him, that is important is my alignment with Yah, the Most High, the true and living. That is the supreme thing. And that literally surpasses everything else. And I know that he's going to say that, and that's the truth. That is the truth. But I do believe to answer your question, I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people are going to come into the knowledge of truth, and that's the sad part. Steppenwolf says, you remind me of a crazy boomer. Who are you talking to, Steppenwolf? Me? I am a boomer. And I'm a little crazy at that. So, hey, I'm not going to get mad at you. All right, folks, we are literally at 1 hour, 1 minute. And my guest just came up here and hung out with us today. And I so appreciate you, Shaq, for joining us. I think I'm going to just start sending you the link so you can just come hang out and let us know what you think. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, just text it to me on, Facebook message or my text. I don't know if you got my number or not.
I don't think I do. I know I go through our brother. Where is he tonight? Working? Bernard, Bernard, he just sent information not long ago. So
hey, Bernard be somewhere everywhere, man. That brother, boy, he can't sit still. When he sits still, boy, he night. You gotta stay on the move, boy. He stay on the move. He stay on the move.
He really does. He really does. Well, I appreciate you for stepping up, and I appreciate everybody in the chat from Alan Davis to Romaine Jane. Keep prepping, people, Romaine says, and be ready so your family can better endure the end. God loves you. I appreciate you, Zeb Johnson. I saw you just sneak in here. Big Red. Hey to all of you guys. And to those of you who don't want to give here, or you say you don't feel comfortable giving with Cash App, for those of you who do, you can put the $ Lockhart Perspective to bless me and the channels. Or you can definitely look at some of the information that Marty Lauderdale, our wonderful mod, has put here that actually gives you our snail mail address. The snail mail address is there. You can also find me on all forms of social media.
He calling me.
With the, I got the snail mail.
He calling me, interrupting my life.
Oh, that's him. He's calling you now. You're like, where are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Got my audio jumping all out of place.
See. So you guys across all social media, it's Felicia Lockhart. But here's what I want to ask you, Shaq. In case anybody wants to find anything that you have going on, how can they find you? Tell us about that.
All right, I sure appreciate it, Ms. Lockhart. You guys can check me on Instagram at CLE Smooth81 or Facebook at Shaq Edwards. That's CHAQ Edwards on Facebook, or Chakyrus Edwards on Facebook. And I don't know. I think my YouTube channel is. When does it come up when you see on my link on when I come into your chat? Does it say Shaq Waller? Or does it say?
It says at CL Smooth 81 / and then it has your Cash App.
I'm tomorrow. Oh, okay. I thought. Okay.
That's what it says.
Okay. When I'm in your chat though, when I'm in your chat, does it say Shaq Waller?
It says Shaq. Yeah, it says Shaq. Yep, it says Shaq.
Okay, I guess that's my YouTube then. Shaq Waller. It will be my YouTube channel.
Well, you guys go ahead and just take your chances. I mean, you never know. Just take your chance. And how would you spell that? How would you spell that?
Shaq Waller. It'd be CHAQ Waller. Shaq Waller.
Child, you are the poster child for Ebonics tonight. What did you just say?
Hold on. You know what? You know why I got that from? Because Valerie gave it to me, right? And I took it because she was like, you like a little rock waller when you be going in on stuff, going in on top, you just keep going. So she said, I call you Shaq Waller. So I took, CHAQ. I think it's CHAQ WEILER, Waller, Shaq Waller.
All right. Well, I'm sure that they will be able to meet you or see you someplace like on some other social media platform, whether it be Instagram or whether it be Twitter. Do you still have the same conundrum with that?
Not with the Shaq Waller. It's on Instagram. It's CLE Smooth 81 on Instagram. That's where I'm going to be at.
You guys catch him on Instagram. I want to tell you, thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Salute.
I'm going to drop you down.
I'm out, yeah.
Love you now. Bye-bye. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining me this evening. And I want to tell you that you guys are the best. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for all the blessings that you guys give to me, whether it be in funny jokes that you'll send me, a funny video that you'll send me, TikToks that you guys have said, all kinds of stuff. You guys all help to lighten my load and you lift me up some. And I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. Listen, I want you to remember what we always say on any Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves, and remember, after you take care of you, then you can reach around and take care of somebody else. But most importantly, until you and I see each other again, please continue to be blessed.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you